Good morning, YouTube. My name is Amy's Bro. Today is June 6, 2017. How are you all doing, my lovely people and fellow attackers alike? Well, what are we talking about today? As it seems like we have almost at least one story to talk about a day, and it's kind of interesting how things have been happening lately. But this also happens when you scour Anime News Network on a nightly basis for your news. So last night, after I got done recording my last video, I was scouring Anime News Network, and I came across an article from our good friends there, and it was about, of all things, Show by Rock. Now, I have not watched Show by Rock. I'm just going to be putting it out there, but I'm going to read this article because I thought it was an interesting one, and we're going to discuss it. So, give me about 30 seconds. It says here, Show by Rock franchise gets a new project. Franchise celebrates 5th anniversary with 5-city event in August. Sanrio, that's the company behind it, announced at a Show by Rock concert event in Saitama Prefecture on Sunday that the Show by Rock franchise is getting a new project. Sanrio did not reveal any more details about the project at the event. The franchise will host 5 events in 5 cities in Japan in August. The 3969 Summer Festival 2007 events will be held in Fukuoka on August 5th, Osaka August 8th, Nagoya August 9th, Sendai August 13th, and in Tokyo on August 31st. Sanrio is hosting the events to commemorate the 5th anniversary of the franchise. So it's on its 5th anniversary, and Utapri is on its 7th. Or at least coming up, so it's going to be on its 7th. Here's what we're going to talk about. So, a new project was announced. Alright, I have no issue with that. Here becomes my issue. It's the idea of the fact that you're doing a project, but you're not announcing what the project is. Right now, you're going to wait until the 5th anniversary. Alright. Or probably until the tour. Alright. Cool. So, why does this bug me? I think here's my issue. Sometimes if you're a fan of a series, you want to know exactly what the new, what the next step is for the franchise. You hate the waiting game. You hate not knowing. And maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm one of those people that just doesn't like to not know things about his particular favorite franchises. Let's say Cutter Boss, let's say Utapri, let's say Brothers Conflict, let's say... pick one. Just, for the love of God, pick a series and you'll see where this goes. But when it comes to some of these series, it amazes me on a personal level that we get to this point. And I know it's more like Western fans, or not the Western fans, but their main base is in Japan, so they don't mind waiting to find out. But a lot of the time, I promise you that the international fan base, if there is one, they start speculating, they start wondering what's going on, and if you know, the Japanese companies have picked up on this or not. I'll let you know a little secret. Western fans have started to become very savvy. For example, before the movie was announced, for fans of the series Yuri on Ice were following Kubo's, I believe it's Mitsuru Kubo, we're checking her Instagram to find out what was coming up as far as the future for their particular series. Well, they were literally, going on her Instagram to see why she was driving around to different places and going to different events to get the scoop on. So there was a level of anticipation and excitement. Now, my concern about doing that sometimes is you end up with the situation that happened with Udapri. For those of us who forgot, I will quickly reiterate. Something happened where somebody apparently found out that there was going to be a fourth season, and they leaked this well in advance. Well, they quickly removed the mention of the fourth season in 2016, and they only mentioned the one for 2015. The reason I think they took that down, though, was somebody from Broccoli went to them and said, you need to remove that because we haven't announced this yet. And I think sometimes fan bases do jump the gun on what is going to be the next step for the franchise. I've done it. I admit this. But when I look at, say, what I do now, which is pretty much almost nightly, reporting on what I find out through, say, out of my news network, it becomes interesting. It really becomes interesting when you look at it from a Western base. Because a lot of times, we get hyped for these events. We do. Whether or not most of us will admit this, we, as a whole, we get very excited to find out what is the next step for these particular series. When they say it's going to be a new project, when they say see you next time, well, when's next time? What are you going to do? Is it going to be a new season? Is it going to be this? Is it going to be an OVA? Is it going to be that? What's it going to be? When Cade Project happened, this was what was interesting to me. When Cade Project was going on as a series, and effectively the trilogy happened, which was, what was it? It was the original K, then it was Missing Kings, then it was Return of Kings. Well, I didn't hear many people in the fan base, before it was announced that it was going to be a new season, speculating on, well, is the new project going to be another movie? Is it going to be a new season? What's it going to be? Turned out in the end it was going to be a new season. And it turned out to be effectively the final season. But does leaving the international fan base of a particular series in the dark, does that really help or hurt the popularity? Sometimes I've wondered if these fan bases, like a Udapri, like a Show by Rock, if because of the fact that they're not hearing anything for so long, do they start to drift off, and then when they get the big news, whatever it may be, do they go, holy shit, and get hyped for it? Now, the other thing to consider is when companies sometimes will announce things, or they'll put out different visuals. Sometimes it's something as simple as just the two characters being together. That's a good way to, shall we say, to give a little breadcrumb to the fandom to keep their interest, but at the same time, leaving fans in the dark, especially Western fans, that can be tricky. Like I said, I'm surprised, to be quite honest with you, that Attack on Titan, its fan base, stayed as loyal as they did, considering the hiatus that they had. Considering that, what was it? Wasn't it supposed to be last year that the second season came out for the series? Was it supposed to be last year? But the reason they didn't is because there wouldn't have been enough gap between the anime and the manga. And in the end, what'd you give them? Like 12 episodes anyway? So you give them 4 seasons. You give them, excuse me, not 4 seasons. So you give them a 4-year wait, but you only give them 12 episodes. To me, that's kind of sketchy. Now, some people can say, well, Udapri would do a season every 2 years, and it's like 13 episodes long. True. I mean, some people might sit there and go, well, that's kind of a jip. But, considering the way that they've done the anime for 4 seasons, it's not really that bad, especially once you understand the format. Like, if you look at it from the outside in, and you go, well, they've only had 13 episodes for every 2 years, except for season 3 and 4. True, but still, you've gone 52 episodes, and they have taken the fans on a roller coaster, both the domestic and international. I don't know how well a show like Show by Rock is done internationally, as far as, say, views, or even the DVDs. Has it come out on DVD yet? Show by Rock here? If so, I want to know how well it's done, because that would be an interesting thing to know for a future video. Because I'm trying to think about this. Show by Rock was a series that when I heard about it, I'm sitting there thinking, well, it's not necessarily an idol anime, but it's a band anime. It was like, what was it, Bakumatsu Rock. Remember that one? The thing is, Bakumatsu Rock only got, what, 1 season? It's not like it got a second season, even though it left off on a cliffhanger for one. Now, maybe there is plans for a movie in the future. We just don't know it. I don't know. I'm speculating here. But maybe this is all just me. Maybe, like, this idea that I'm having of leading people on with saying we're having a project and then not revealing what the project is going to be, maybe that's to really drum up the interest. Well, you did a good job because you got me talking about it in a video, and I'm not even in the Show by Rock fan base. Well, everybody knows the fan bases I'm in, and the fact that, you know, of course, like I said, Udapri's getting a movie, which is going to be interesting. And Show by Rock. If Show by Rock gets, like, if they announce that that's going to be a 3rd season, that'll be interesting, because that'll tell me that show is actually more popular than I thought it was. If it's going to be a movie, that makes it even more interesting. And I'll actually talk about that in another video. Maybe I'll do that in the next video. But, I don't know. What do you think? Do you think that the way that anime companies deal with talking about projects in generalities is a good thing or a bad thing, And especially if you're in the show by Rock fandom, do you think it's going to be a third season, or do you think you're getting a movie in the long run? Let me know what you think in the comments, because I would actually be very interested to hear what you think. And I will see you in the next video. Take care, my friends. Bye-bye.